I wish I could turn this around so you can see all the sticky notes that I have all over the place. I have a gazillion questions to throw your way.
I'm excited.
We're going to try to squeeze in as many as possible with the limited time that we have. First and foremost, congratulations on Dear Alcohol Remix, man.
Thank you, man. Hey, man, and first and foremost, I got to say this, man. Man, it's your boy Dax, and we back at it like a bad habit. If you want something in this life, you better go grab it in today, baby. We about to make a big play.
Damn, and I know that, for people that don't know, that is like your daily ritual, man. Like you say that, I feel you say that before you even brush your teeth.
I say it in the mirror every morning.
Exactly. So, again, mind is blown. Today's an amazing day. And it's so weird. I won't really credit this to like the laws of attraction, but I'll just say that all things happen for a reason, because we were supposed to talk a few days ago, man. Schedule conflict messed things up. But like, I'm actually honored to talk to you today, because today is the official release of the Dear Alcohol Remix video all over the place, man. You've been teasing it for a few days with different people, contributing to, I think it was the Open Verse Challenge, but now it's official. Nearly 20 minutes in length, I want to say, man. Just talk about the excitement getting this out to the masses, man.
The excitement has been great, man. I think it was something I was anticipating. A lot of people were anticipating, but I wanted to just give it time to build over a period of time, so more people had to like the chance to put their verses in. So for me, I guess it's sort of like the final personal hurrah for this whole like 2-month push that it's been. And it's just great to see, and I think show people that, man, there's talent in every nook and cranny in the world that you wouldn't even know about. People just hopping on it, sounding better than people you hear on the radio sometimes, just killing it. So it was exciting, man. It was dope to show it off.
No, and it's killing me because I jotted it down somewhere on one of these crazy notes, Dax. But is it like 2025? You have a bunch of people on there, and what's so dope is like they contributed to it. But you showed the love on. I read the description. You got everyone's pages linked up there. People can, because a lot of times, especially with music videos, you see someone, you're like, who is that person? You don't ever know. You can actually go check out that person, and it's kind of like just sharing the love, man. Like, they contributed to this. This is your way of showing them love back.
Right, man. Yeah, it's to me, just I always operate out of just common sense. You know what I mean? For me, it's always just been like, especially on the independent grind, just show love to the people showing love to you. That's what I focus on. Fucking with the people who fuck with me. That's it. That's all.
Dex, let me ask you, when did you realize that, like, was it a no-brainer this is going to be a remix? Because, again, looking at my notes, I have it somewhere, but I remember, like, right before you actually dropped it, you're like, 5 years in the making. I'm low-key nervous. I don't know what type of reception this is going to be. This is actually, and I know you're always evolving, but this is a super new territory for you, man. Like, when people think of Dax, especially me, I think of like Tech 9 type style raps, like just super machine gun style. This, you slowed it down. You got super deep with it. And it just was game changing, and the numbers don't lie, right? You look at the streams, you look at YouTube views, millions, 13 plus million. Just talk about initially putting it out to the masses and then no brainer to make it a remix.
Yeah, so initially, like when I first made the song, I remember Lex played the beat and I was like, I got wasted because I didn't want to deal with myself tonight. And I was like, oh shit, this is different. And I always operate out of just whatever comes out first is what I go with. So I never choose like a topic. I don't choose a style. I just choose whatever comes to my brain first. And then based upon what those words are, I determine the importance of the song. So once those words came out, I was like, oh shit, this is important, especially for where I was in terms of drinking at that point. So I finished the song and I was like, I think this is going to be the song that really, I guess, breaks some barriers for me. I've released a lot of singing songs before, but usually they're tucked into like, an EP or an album like that. So this was my first time dropping like a full on singing song, single wise. Not only that, but I knew people were going to have or related a little bit to because the way I'm singing it sounds maybe a little bit country. So I had a feeling that I was really gonna, cross some more barriers for me, especially the topic wise. And shit, I'm honestly expecting it to still do a lot more. I think the song's just getting started. In terms of the remix, once I started the Open Verse Challenge, it was my first time doing an Open Verse Challenge, so I didn't expect this many people to do it. But I do know, like, I love doing Open Verse challenges myself on TikTok. Just because I just like having fun and it's so easy. I can just do it with my microphone. So I didn't know I was gonna make it into a remix, but I always just like operate off of like, okay, the people wanted it. A lot of people are engaging it. So I just felt like it was almost like my duty to like put together these amazing verses and just put it on my YouTube where it could live forever, you know? So
Exactly. Yeah. No, because I know on I think it was a few weeks ago, like you basically had I think it was a TikTok video that also went on to IG saying 5 different styles of rap. And fast forward to today, man, it's not even in the rap category. I know on Apple Music it's alternative country. So Lil Nas X might be kind of catching feelings like, yo, I kind of did that, but nonetheless, because I was actually gonna open up this whole entire conversation with, are we gonna get a Lil Nas X and a Dax versus one day, man? But all that stuff to the side, man. Super exciting in that regard. And of course, it didn't make the project that you put out in 2021, Paintings, right?
Pain paints paintings. P3.
Excuse me, man, but that's a whole different type of vibe. But let me just ask you, with this particular thing, do you feel like there's might be a niche, or you might want to make a few other songs that kind of make it more of an EP style thing, or are you just kind of testing the waters out with this?
For me, it's not even testing the waters. Like, I always make music based upon the words. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a guy who even like necessarily looks at beats like that. Like, for me, it's all about the words. So even if some people are saying this song may be, oh, this is a country song. Well, the lyrics aren't. The lyrics have nothing to do with a sector or a group of people. The lyrics are universal. Everyone and people around the world struggle with, alcohol and other substances. So for me, like, types of songs, singing, rapping, it's all irrelevant to me. It's all about the words. But I mean, I already have songs that I've made in the past that sound a little bit more, quote unquote country, but the lyrics and what I'm talking about is never like, oh, well, the song's about, bonfires, or mentioning necessarily, typical country things. Cause obviously I'm not, from the country. I've lived in country places like Wyoming, Montana, and all these places. But so yeah, for me, it's just more about the words. So will I make more songs sounding like that? Maybe, if that's what comes out when I hear the beat, but I can never guarantee.
For sure. And I kind of want to backtrack just a little bit because I was saying earlier, man, before you hop, well, actually, all that to the side, what I really want to get into is your lifestyle, man. More so like because people know you for the lyricism, they know you for just being a super dope hip hop artist. But this might be intentional as well, but there's a lot of you that I don't think people know about. Like, I know when I was preparing for this interview or this conversation, I was like, yo, what is Dax's workout looking like? And there's actually like websites dedicated to people predicting what you eat, what you don't eat, what type of workouts you do, and whatnot.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the site that I saw it on, but it was super detailed. Like, do this for like 30 minutes to get the abs that Dax has. Eat this, 2 times a day.
Oh, that's crazy.
With all that, is that super intentional, or is it just like people really haven't asked me what I eat and what I work out and all that stuff, so that's why you don't know it? Like, what is the intention for us not knowing that workout, the Dax workout plan?
Shit, I mean, the intention behind me is that, like, I only started this musical, but started with poetry, and motivational speaking, but this is only started at the age of 22. So like I said, my whole 22 years of existence before this started, I never wanted to be a music artist. I never wanted to be in the public eye. I never wanted to, be quote unquote famous. I hate that word. I call it impactful. But so 22 years of my life was spent not on social media. I didn't get a phone. I didn't get a phone till I was like 11th grade, and I didn't get an actual iPhone and I was 21, and I didn't make an Instagram until first year of college. So I've never been one to share my life with people, because I think once you give people too much of your life, they use it against you, and they can start to manipulate things, and not only yourself, but people who are included in that life, and it could be detrimental. So I'm just never one to share what I do on a personal basis because I'm living it, I'm not documenting it.
Got you. It makes me almost wonder, Dax, do you low-key hate interviews, man? Like, just because I'm just curious, because I'm like, man, he probably hates getting asked so many, because, when people look you up, they'll see, like, what happened with the KCI and all that stuff. I'm like, yo, he probably just wants to talk about dope music and dope things where people get infatuated with, and this actually kind of leads into my next topic, negativity, man, because it's so easy to sell negativity, right? Whether it's on CNN or World Star or just on social media in general, it's so easy for that, and that's kind of why I'm like, yo, I've seen some of the interviews that you've done, and I can kind of get a feeling when it's like, yo, I wish you'd ask me a different question than that whack question. But kind of going, first off, do you appreciate interviews, or do you just kind of feel like it's almost like a form of social media and marketing?
No, I love interviews. I love talking. Like, I was a communications major in college. I love talking to people. I mean, that's what I spend most of my time doing, communicating with the people who support me. That's why I always say I fuck with people who fuck with me. Obviously I never enjoy talking about, social media. For me, it's like this, like, man, there's so much going on in my brain that when people ask me questions that don't pertain to the betterment and improvement of life, it's hard for me to even just like, even pretend like I want to answer it. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I just feel like I have so much to offer the world in terms of, thought processes, I guess advice, the way I see the world, that sometimes it sucks, but I understand it. At the end of the day, everyone's trying to, build brands, and a lot of the times negativity spreads quicker than positivity. Not to only mention that I'm an independent artist, you know what I mean? So it's like, there's really nothing attached to me except for what I create. There's no like buzzing news about, who I'm dating or who I'm beefing or who because I don't do that.
Yeah.
So I understand it from a media standpoint, but I do love, doing interviews and stuff like that.
For sure. And like I said, just kind of branching into the whole positivity conversation, man, because that, I want to talk about positivity and then lead that into legacy, man, because I know legacy is very important for you. I think for all people, whether they realize it at the time or not, but just all about positivity, man. Are there, I guess, what positive elements do you keep in your life, or is it about excluding a lot of negative elements? Because one thing that I love about you, Dax, is that you just completely embrace a lot of positive things, man. And from the music to just how you seem, on social media, it just seems like there's a lot of positive things happening for you and with you. It's very rare to see you down, at least from what
Is it showing me? I don't know, someone's trying to.
You went, you faded to black, man. You completely faded to black.
How do I make sure no one can call me, but not?
Guys, you might have to be. Yeah, you know what?
Do not disturb.
Yeah, once it ends, there we go. Got you back. So going back to that, you need me to repeat the question? Does it kind of make sense? The whole positivity.
Oh, like yeah, in terms of positivity, like what was it? Sorry, what was it?
Yeah, no, it's all good. So basically, like what elements do you kind of keep around to keep the positivity going? Like, quick example for me, right? Like, I love sports. I realized watching so much ESPN and like the negative spins, I was like, I gotta kind of kill that and just focus on maybe the NBA TV channel versus ESPN. Like, I'm starting to realize kind of what we said a few moments ago, like negativity is so easy to sell and buy and promote. Like especially once again in sports, you see they'll paint it as LeBron versus Steph Curry, then after the game they're dapping it up, and they don't really show you that love that they have, right? So I'm just kind of going all the way back to you though, Dax, because this interview is about you. Keeping the positivity, kind of the things that keep you going and avoiding the negativity and keeping that positive side that we're so used to seeing from you.
I think the first thing I do is, like I've always told myself, I realize that, humans are, more likely going to lean towards negativity. As soon as Adam and Eve ate the apple from the tree, the world was put into sin and the negativity was there regardless whether we want it or not. So it's like, if you don't teach a baby to do the right, it's going to do wrong. So to me, I try not to judge people when they do maybe negative things towards me. And I try not to even get down on myself. I just sort of accept it. It's like, shit, we're prone to that. But then I also think about, okay, well, anything in life, and I learned this from basketball, is that repetition always, you can really do anything if you do it enough times. So what I've learned to do with my brain is just consistently practice positivity, from my affirmation to thoughts. I think it was when I first started this shit, I took a mental inventory because someone was saying like, 90% of our thoughts are negative. And I took an inventory of my thoughts during the day and I was like, damn, all this shit's really is negative. And that came from me also wanting to be a better basketball player. So once I figured that out, I just started to reprogram my brain and just really that's when I started the word big play, big play, big play. So I just reprogrammed my brain to saying more negative, saying more positive things. And I just started to become more positive and see life half full instead of half empty. So for me, it's just consistently every day, just flooding myself with positivity. That's why that's why I love reading comments on my YouTube and going through it, because the people who support me are giving me hella positivity. So if I'm consistently reading positivity and getting complimented by people on a daily basis, you're going to tend to be more positive,
For sure. No, definitely. Exactly, man. And just kind of, building off of that real quick, I want to talk about legacy, man, because that's one thing from a few different interviews that I've seen that you've done. You talk very much, I'm trying to think, did the interview say this or did you bring it up? But like, there was like 500 years from now, certain people won't be remembered, right? Basically, what is it that you leave, man? What is your legacy? And to this point, man, it's so dope that you have so much of a dope music catalog and you've impacted so many lives. I think that's what's so cool about the Dear Alcohol remix. Like, you see a lot of people from different races, different ages, all that kind of coming together, man, and contributing to to something that's racking up millions of views and millions of streams. Just talk about the importance of legacy for you, man, and as your brand, as your entity evolves, is that just part of the legacy within itself, or just how do you view legacy?
The importance of legacy to me, I've always like operated under the umbrella goal of putting something into the world that's gonna last forever. That's always like been my ultimate goal. And I think it's important to me because I feel like as someone, who's been, blessed to be able to put words together the way I do, it's a big responsibility, and you can use it for good or you can use it for bad. So I just want to make sure with the people who do fuck with me that I'm not leading them astray. So every time I write a song or do whatever it is, go on social media, like I'm just very big on choosing my words because I know people are listening to them. And that's, legacy is, 500 years from now, someone's going to find Dear God, or they're going to find, Dear Alcohol. So it's just the pressure, you know what I mean? Of just understanding that because these are impactful topics that never go away. So for me, legacy is important. It's real important because, especially now with the, social outprint of things and media and the internet, the shit you put out is going to be here forever. So yeah, man, it's important.
Yo, and how does your brain work in the sense of creativity, man? Because, from the lyricism, especially when you watch Rap God 10 minutes, Rap God 20 minutes long, man. And I mean, like, there's no trash bars on there, right? Like every bar rather, like, and like there's certain lines that just like say embedded in your head. Like when I say Nas, people think I'm talking about Little Nas X. That's not a diss. Like there's just certain things that just like, oh my gosh, yo, he bodied that, man. But going back to my main question about creativity, is it just something that just burns in your head like every day, like, oh, how can I do something better? Or what's the next big thing? I know you probably let a lot of things happen naturally, but because you're so creative, and even with the visuals too, man, like the Grinch video is insanely dumb, cool, crazy. I mean, dumb in a positive way, right? So it's just insanely dope, man. And just so many, and going back to what you said earlier, like those comments, you see people get what you're doing, man. Like I see the validation up and down. Like, yo, people don't get this guy. He's next level type stuff. So you see all that positive reinforcement. But going to the main question at hand, which is like what I said 30 seconds ago. But creativity, is it something that's always burning in your head, or do you try to let it happen naturally? I guess how do you balance all that creativity and the urge to keep on creating something?
I'll tell you, music and poetry is the first thing in my life that I felt I was born to do. Like basketball was like I had to put so many hours upon hours upon hours upon hours of perfecting the skill. But like from the time I wrote my first poem, I was like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing with my life. So I never stress the creativity. There'll be some times where I don't be in the studio for 2-3 months. But once I'm in there, I just focus. If I have something that comes to my brain, it just comes, I write it. Once I feel any type of struggle, I just say, fuck it, I leave. And then, it really just comes to me and it comes out. And it's really how it works.
Gotcha. Just a handful more things I want to throw at you, Dax. And apologies if you had this question thrown at you already at some point, but how did the pandemic really, impact you, man? Because going back to 2020, the Godzilla video drop, I mean, so many positive things were popping, man, and then everything got shut down, right? Like everything just got put on pause. It was crazy, and then we're still living in the pandemic, but we're kind of dealing with it. People are touring again, festivals, blah 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 blah. But like in that moment, with just so much excitement for a lot of people, not just you, but a lot of people, things were happening. To just go completely shut down mode, were you able to still create? It was something new. You even put out a COVID or coronavirus related song during that time, man. But talk about just that immediate impact on career, personal, all that.
Yeah, for me it was a blessing. You know what I mean? I was always the type of person like I love the rain, and like the main reason I love the rain is because I know most people when it's raining they don't want to go outside, but I like walking in the rain. So for me, the pandemic, making the situation or the game, because I see this like a sport, making it harder. I love those type of scenarios. So for me, the pandemic was a blessing. I got to sit, I got to create. Everything I do is very like, quick run and gun. So I'm shooting, one take video only takes 3 minutes, and I might shoot it out like a place 2 hours away and just go to a random road. You know what I mean? So to me, it was great. And I was able to sort of separate and put myself in a place where, I don't even have to tour. you know, just focused on the creativity of stuff. So I liked it personally. And I've always been sort of to myself anyway, so it wasn't anything new.
Got you. And I also wanted to throw one thing at you real quick. When did you master TikTok, man? Because now it seems as easy as a layup, man. Some people are still trying to find that algorithm that's going to get them like a lot of popularity and whatnot. But you know, going back to how this conversation started, man, you were able to create a Dear Alcohol remix based off of dope TikTok videos, man. People contribute.
Right.
So you know, you really have been able to embrace the power of it. It's not just YouTube anymore. TikTok is its own entity, man. When did it like just click for you?
To me, it clicked so the first thing I always tell myself is like, okay, you know, going viral is one thing, but you want to make sure you can go viral for something you can sustain and that's within your moral compass. And one thing that I knew that I loved to do was like make music videos. So I started just posting behind the scenes content. I was like, okay, well, shit, my behind the scenes content is going viral. And I know this is within my moral compass. And I know it's easy for me to continue to upload that content. So once I found something that I could do that was sustainable and within my moral compass, it was just like my TikTok started to go crazy, you know? Because the worst thing that can happen to somebody is going viral for some shit you don't fuck with. And then feeling forced to have to continue to create in a person who's not truly you. So once I found, I was like, oh, they fuck with this and this is me. Great. Let's go crazy with it.
Super crazy, super crazy. And then really just kind of, you know, I'll end it on this note. Like I said, I got gazillion stickies, but I want to like let you enjoy your Monday, man, and enjoy all
Oh, no, if you got more questions, man, I'm down, man.
Let's do it. Okay.
I'm chilling.
I think one or two more ask you. You know, one dope thing, and I know you reference it a lot, but you know, being an independent artist, and it's just so funny to me, Dax, that, you know, this whole independent label, man, like, it's almost, I don't know if it's a catch-22 or if it's like a Squid Game situation or whatever the case might be, but it seems like every independent artist thinks that they want to do some type of eventually, right? At some point, get the label deal that they really want. And then what happens is fast forward, the artist wants to get off of that label and do their own thing again. It almost seems like it always comes full circle to me, man. And I know in interviews you've talked about, yo, you know what? I want it to be a partnership, right? Like, I don't want to have to be any labels artists. It needs to be a joint venture type situation. Because I look at 2009, 2010, Drake was essentially like, oh man, he should stay independent. Then he signed with Universal / Cash Money. And now fast forward a few years ago, I think like he left Cash Money low key, but he still has some type of management deal. I don't know. You look at Kendrick Lamar, right? Another perfect example. Top Dog Entertainment, but now, you know, he just dropped his final album, contractual album with them. And now he's PG Lang, right? Situation Tory Lane, same thing with Interscope. And it just seems like independent is always going to be the answer no matter what, when it's all said and done. But obviously, in your situation, man, having experienced what you've experienced, probably seeing the good and the bad from both situations, is it still just kind of the end game to have that partnership with a major because of what they can bring to the table in their personal investment?
Yeah, eventually for sure. I think the goal of any business should to be over a period of time have to do less work. You know, you don't want to continue to grow and then you're doing more work. So the way to ensure that is to build leverage. You know, like for me, I'm even closer now to probably partnering up. I mean, not necessarily with a major label, but with something a little bit bigger, you know, than what I'm currently working with, because that's just the only way it's possible to create that impact. Because at the end of the day, you know, I mean, most of the people who scream about like the independent stuff and also don't really understand what it is, you know, from the fan standpoint or stuff like that. But at the end of the day, everyone's favorite artist that you can name in the history of life has been signed to a major label. Mm-hmm. You know, and there's a reason for that, because there's certain places you can't reach. So it's not necessarily about demonizing major labels. It's about understanding that everyone partners or gets signed based on necessarily what they want to do. And it depends on the leverage they've created up to that point in their career. So, you know, eventually you're probably going to want to go independent because you're no longer going to be the priority at set major label like you were before. You know what I mean? So I understand it from that point. For someone like me who's been independent the whole time and has built it, I mean, probably bigger than anyone has without ever signing, you know, it makes sense for me to eventually partner up and try to take the impact further. And now with me having built the leverage, I don't have to do certain things I don't want to. And I can come in. It was funny. I was making a joke on my TikTok live yesterday. It's like, I can walk into the rooms now and take my dick out, you know, and slap it on the table, you know?
Right there.
So, but that's the joke. But yeah, man, I think it just depends on your goals, you know, independent, build your leverage, and then go have conversations to make the business easier for yourself.
Guys, from the outside looking in, I can list so many different things that I've seen, you know, just from your career that personally would be like, that was a game changer. That was a massive accomplishment. But for you, man, personally, what's been the biggest accomplishment as an independent artist, man? Since this career, this journey has begun, there's been so many dope moments. But you personally, man, like independent, I did this on my own. Wow, that's part of my legacy.
I mean, shit, everything. But I guess my biggest accomplishment,
Right? I know, like literally everything, fam.
Yeah, my biggest accomplishment was the day I wrote Dear God, because that was the first day in my life I was like, I'm gonna be remembered forever. When I wrote Dear God, I was like, this is one where I know is gonna be relevant from now till the existence. And since then I wrote a couple more, like Eternity, Does God Cry, Dear Alcohol is 1, 2. But that was probably my biggest accomplishment, writing that song.
Definitely, and then the music video hits hard. Then Child of God drops as well, man. Pretty much as a follow up to that, man. So yeah, it definitely sparked so many conversations, man. And you know what? For better or for worse, there's nothing better than like a good debate or a massive conversation. And you know, one thing I love about you too, Dax, is you are the type that I can just imagine. I haven't seen it personally, but I can imagine certain comments you're gonna thumbs up. You're gonna respond to people. We've seen on TikTok you being on the same video stream with these people, man. Just how much do your fans really like mean to you, man? That ride or die status. It just seems like that is like the most precious thing that you never want to let go.
See, me personally, I don't even like the word fan, man. I like the word FAM or supporter. I've never been a big fan of that word, ironically. Yeah. But to me, it's just like, it's at the end of the day in life, I also understand that these are people, and you know, at any given moment, someone could potentially not fuck with me anymore. So me knowing that, I just go into it with an open mind. You know, I just genuinely, I fuck with the people who fuck with me. You know, it's like, there's a reason, you know, I treat my mom the way I do, because she fucks with me more than anybody else in the history of life, and my dad, you know? Yeah. So when it comes to like the supporters, it's just, okay, man, these people fuck with me and they're giving me their time and energy. So I'm going to give them my time and energy. And then once someone stops, like if someone doesn't fuck with me, they don't get my time and energy. So I just think like, that's why, you know, and obviously they're helping me create a platform to make an impact. So they deserve my time, which is the greatest gift I could give, you know? So it's just that simple for me.
Nah, and you know what is one of my minds, as you're explaining that to me, it just kind of clicked, because at some point, and that might be like a weakness for some, you know, hip hop or not just hip hop artists, but celebrities or you know, these famous people. I know we don't like to use the word fame, but you know, so I think some artists, they'll refrain from maybe being their true selves because they're fearful of losing those fans, right? I think like people were upset when Instagram had to wipe out all the robots, and like people saw, oh, I lost like thousands or millions of fake fans and whatnot. So I see what you mean, man, because I think when you cater too much to someone, you can actually end up censoring yourself because you're worried that they might not like what you put out. So
right.
I completely get what you're saying with that, man.
Yeah, I never operate out of the fear of losing a fan. You know what I mean? Like, because I don't even think of the word, you know, I think is something that's like, I have no problem with people using the word. This is just me personally in my brain. You know, like to be a fan of something means it can fan out.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's why I like the word family. That's why I like the word supporter, because it's like it's not necessarily like they fuck with my music, obviously, but they fuck with the ideals of what I stand for. You know, what I talk about. It's bigger than just the way something sounds, you know, and that's why I always harp on the word is what's most important. There's a bunch of people who don't fuck with me, but they're just like, it's facts though. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's facts. So like, sure. You know, I don't fuck with this guy, but man, he works hard, man. He shows love. So
exactly. Yeah, you see that in sports all the time. Like people hate Tom Brady, but like, yo, man, like he's an amazing athlete.
Right. Yeah, and you know, I'm literally watching Man in the Arena right now, the Tom Brady thing. And it's just like, oh man, you know, I mess with the way this guy approaches things, you know? So yeah, you just gotta, like I said, as long as you're walking within your own moral compass and doing what you do, you'll attract the people you're meant to attract. And once you attract those people, spend all your time building with them instead of trying to convince them who don't fuck with you to come along.
For sure.
And they'll find like-minded.
On this quick note, Dax, there's going to be a part 2. I'm going to beg you to do a part 2 once things get calm down a little bit. But yo, kind of like, what is your biggest what do you represent the most, man? 'Cause I think when people look you up, they're like, yo, oh, he's Canadian. There's, oh no, yo, he's from the Midwest. Oh no, he's Nigerian. Oh no, yo, he's out there in LA. I see him in LA all the time. Like, yo, who is Dax, man? Because there's so much dope backstory to you. And people don't know, is he a Canadian hip hop artist? Is he from the Midwest? There's so much to you. And I know you don't like labels and you don't like to be like, categorized, but just explain like, yo, is it Canada? Like Canada on all day long, or is it Midwest?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, it's God, man. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I always say, once you were born, you were, by birthright, you were co-signed,
Okay.
Other than that, I was born in Canada, Newfoundland on a rock. Both my parents are Nigerian, so I'm Nigerian. And then I played basketball in the United States at 3 different colleges in 4.5 years. So, but I spent the majority of that time in Wichita, Kansas, because I also went to prep school out there. So I was there for like a totality of 3.5. But I started my music in Wichita, Kansas. So that's why a lot of people think I'm from Wichita. But for me, I accept it all. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I show love. I literally just show love to whatever shows love to me. I show love to Canada. I show love to America. I show love to Nigeria, Zambia, South Africa. It's just like, I really don't. We're humans. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm just showing, I operate whatever shows love to me. I'm showing love to you.
100%. Yo, Dad, I cannot thank you enough, man. Honestly, go enjoy the views. Continue to stack up for the Dear Alcohol remix. You have an amazing team that's just keeping me updated on all that you're doing. I want to see the cowboy boots next time we do the interview, okay? Because I feel like
I got some right over there. I got 2 pairs right over there.
so we're gonna get to the 3rd pair sooner than we realized. Dax, I will stay tuned. You get on out of here, man. Thank you so much, and call that person back that interrupted our interview, okay?
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, man.
All right, thank you.